So today we are going to learn a little bit of mindfulness, little bit about how to be mindfulness in your life, right? So actually, when we think about what is mindfulness, like when we are into ourself, like in touch with yourself, like nothing or anyone, whatever they say and whatever they do for you, and when you are at peace with yourself, nothing can touch you. That is, no negativity can touch you, it will not bother you. So to understand oneself or know thyself, like how most of the spiritual uh, you know spiritual speakers speak about know thyself or something like that. So mindfulness is something into knowing about yourself completely. So when we come to know about yourself, it is the noblest things to be. So here, let me start with a small introduction. And then in this session, we will be learning about what is mindfulness and some definitions of mindfulness by the definition of mindfulness by John Kabat-Zinn, and also we learn something about what is not mindfulness and the basic principles of mindfulness, the functions of mindfulness, and what are we going to reap from mindfulness, the benefits of mindfulness, and how do we start learning mindfulness, how to become mindfulness, and what are the barriers to learn mindfulness, how to pick up mindfulness, and some activities in between. And then we also will know about types of mindfulness at the end, right? So shall we go on? Yes. What is mindfulness? So here the definition goes like this: it is awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose. So here the word on purpose has to be underlined. That means purposefully you get yourself into the present moment. And how do you go into the present moment? It is non-judgmental, okay, and non-judgmental to things as they are. You will not judge anything, you will not say your opinion about anything or any person or any smell or taste or anything in front of you or outside. That is mindfulness. So bringing your focus there. And again, this means you completely pay attention on your, so you bring your attention to things that are really whichever it is there in the live moment, in the given moment, and not what we want them to be, right? So here we have to understand that mindfulness is awareness that emerges through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and without any judgment. So that is the definition of mindfulness. So what we know from this mindfulness, or how do we go? So we can actually bring ourselves in harmony with the world. So we will be, when we are cultivating mindfulness, we will be able to locate our identity, who you are, what you are, and how is your worldview and your place in the world. Like everything comes in a close connected network, so that you and the world will not be looking so aloof, right? And also mindfulness is enjoying in the present moment and not worrying about the past or being concerned anything about the future, like what is going to happen in the future, what I'm going to be next year or after marriage, what I'm going to be, how things are going to be, no. And also like some things which has happened in the past, so we're not worrying about anything in the happened in the past, like I should have selected this course, I should have joined this college, this should not have happened to me. So we will not worry about anything in the past, but concern only about the present moment. Maybe the right now, how we are sitting in front of a phone or in a computer, like we are listening to the Meher. So all these present things, how we are holding your headset or whatever, so you are living in the present moment, and that is called mindfulness. And mindfulness is a translation of the Indian word sati, which means again awareness, attention, and remembering. Okay, so here it is living harmonious in the world and yourself, It's about cultivating your identity, your worldview, and what is your place in the world, and what are the things you don't understand, you question, and also you appreciate every moment you entitle. And as you go, what are the things you have, you know, in every moment. Okay, so you could see a screen here. uh, so when did you last had your tea? Maybe today morning, right? So how you had your tea? So just recollect how you had your tea. So what was the thing you were doing, other activity you were doing, and in which room you are having your tea. So all those things, if you recollect, you can just think about whether you were mindful or not mindful, right? So what this Thich Nhat says, drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the world, earth revolves. That means slowly, evenly, without rushing toward the future. Live the actual moment. Only this moment is life. So that is what he's saying about how you enjoy each moment. It is not only having a sip of a tea, it is also whatever the activity you do, you enjoy and do. You live in the moment, being in the present moment. When somebody talks to us, we will be nodding our head, and then after some time when they ask, didn't I tell you? And then you will be wondering like, what did I listen, and what did he say, like that, right? So that is not being in the moment. And breaking it down further, like what is the meaning of mindfulness? It is paying attention. That is being mindful. You need to pay attention. It's like without paying attention you cannot be mindful, right? So whatever you choose to attend to. And present moment, so whatever it is, the present moment is more important. So the reality of being in the here and now means you just need to be aware of the way things are as they are now, right? So you will not think about anything in the past. Once again I'm repeating, you will not think about anything in the past, and you will not think anything about the future. You feel right now what is in front of you, what is the reality of being in the here and now, right? So here, your experience is valid and correct just as it is. Again, we have to talk about mindfulness to understand more about it. It is non-reactive, right? So anything which comes to you, you automatically react to it based on your past conditioning. So this shouldn't happen, or this will not happen if you practice mindfulness. Maybe in a later stage you feel that you will not react, instead you respond to it, right? So there are a lot of difference between reacting and responding, right? You experience something, you automatically react based on your past conditions. So here you will not react. Once again, you need to further understand about mindfulness. It is non-judgmental. The temptation to judge experience as good or bad. I don't like this pizza. This curry is not good. Okay, this person is looking so indifferent. I don't like this person. So all these judgments we do when we see a person, when we go to a restaurant, or when we go to a relative's place, anything, we try. That is a temptation to judge this experience, right? So judgments should not be there when you're going to pay attention to certain things. I don't like to feel afraid. Example here, I want to feel bliss. Letting go of judgments help you to see things as they are, rather than through the filter of personal judgments based on previous conditioning, right? So based on our previous experience, that is we are usually conditioned to certain things. That is, this person will be like this particular thing will be like this, or this particular restaurant tastes like this. So we are conditioned based on our experiences. So here, when we have some judgments based on our previous experiences, we will not be able to pay attention. So we have to let go of all the judgments, which will help you see things better than earlier, right? And the next important condition, or again meaning to mindfulness, is open-heartedly. To be open hearted is to bring a kindness, compassion, warmth, and friendliness to your experience. So, whenever we wanted to be mindfulness, we have to be open hearted. Again, kindness, right? So, we will not really think about like being very cruel to people or to other, things or like that. So we have to be compassionate. Even washing vessels, we have to be compassionate. Even washing vessels, open the tap, wash the dishes, again wash it with water, and listen to the sound of the water on the vessel and how it drops, how it gets cleaned up, and again keep it back on your table, how it is. So compassionate in doing things, and warmth and friendliness to our experience. All these things together bring us in something called mindfulness. So I have to repeat it once again. Paying mindfulness is paying attention, being in the present moment, non-reactive, non-judgment, and open-hearted, right? Okay, so I have one small activity here. So here, a small activity, I think all of you are enthusiastic to do this small activity. Yeah, okay. Now sit with your back straight and your body relaxed, and gently rest your hands on your knees. Yes, I hope you're sitting straight, back straight, and your body relaxed, and your hands on your knees. Now start breathing naturally. Now I'm going to count your breathing now, right? Okay. So if I'm going to say 1, you will breathe in, and the next count you will exhale, right? That is inhale for the first count, exhale for the second count. Okay, let us start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe very naturally. Don't think that you have to breathe in while your doctor keeps a stethoscope on your chest. Don't breathe like that. Breathe very naturally. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we are going to continue this exercise one more time with a bit of change here. So now I'm going to count. The first 2 counts you have to breathe inhale, and the next 4 counts you have to exhale, right? So you will inhale for 1 and 2. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hope you have done this. Right, now come back to your normal natural breathing. Right, I hope at the end of the session you will be giving me some good feedback about this activities also. Okay, we move on to the next part of the mindfulness session here. Okay, now we are going to learn what mindfulness not. So far we learned what is mindfulness, like non-reactive, non-judgmental, being open-hearted, paying attention, and being in the moment, right? And what is not mindfulness? So here we have to understand that mindfulness is somebody has scribbled on the screen. Okay, mindfulness is not trying to relax. So when we are mindful, it is not like relaxing on a chair or something, and you will really will not practice mindfulness whenever you are in a couch or on a bed or on a chair or something. But mindfulness is a thing being in the reality. It is the mind and the body connection, not entirely you're going to relax here. Okay, and then mindfulness is not to avoid any difficulty. Mindfulness is not to avoid any difficulty. That means to come out of any difficulty, to come out of any anxiety or something, you will not practice mindfulness. Okay, and also when you are mindfulness, you will not say that you are come out of the difficulty, right? And also mindfulness is not a way to bypass the personality problems. Like if we have some, naturally we all know like what are personality problems and personality issues. It is not the way to bypass any personality issues. Like you cannot completely get rid of this personality problems, but you can be mindful of what you are doing, your behavior, and what you think about certain things. So okay, and not about achieving a different state of mind. So you will not go to a different state of mind, like how the the people who meditate, right? Those people will go to a different state. The, the, the saints, they will go to a different state of mind when they are doing meditation. It is not about this kind different state of mind, but mindfulness is something we are aware of every thought and feeling which is entering our mind and leaving our mind at and the entire things, right? Okay. And the next is, once again we have, it is not an escape from pain, distress or discomfort. You cannot really escape from any pain or distress or discomfort, but you can manage through mindfulness. So mindfulness is, say for example, you have a pain in your left hand or so, you when you're doing mindfulness, you can't say that the pain will be relieved, right? So that is different and this is different. So I hope that you have understood what is mindfulness and what is not mindfulness, right? On the next slide. So here again there is a small slide telling you that respond, don't react, listen, don't talk, think and don't assume. So most of the things we will assume, right? This person may would have told like this person would have imagined me like this. So these are all the assumptions we have. So actually mindfulness is non-judgmental, right? So we will not judge anything, we will actually think about something whether it is true or not. So listen, respond and think, and we will go on to the basic principles now. So here the mindfulness has some basic principles. So when we need to observe our thoughts and feelings as mental events, so here we have to again highlight the word mental events. That means like what are the mind things, that is the thoughts, the feelings, and what kind of thinking, shuffling from one thought to the other thought. All those things are collectively called as mental events, like how it is coming and going and when it started and which is the connective thought, all those things. So observe the thoughts and the feelings as mental events that comes and goes, rather not to become absorbed in the content. So you will not get yourself to the content of the particular mental thoughts and the feelings here. And whatever the thoughts and the feelings comes and goes, you have to see them as a third person in a non-judgmental way. Actually it is not very easy. We can just say like it is your feeling, okay, you think that feeling is like a somebody else's feeling, okay. So when you feel that, then that way, then you will not really affected by that feeling. So that is not actually easy. But when we practice mindfulness, it is possible, maybe after a stage of experiencing mindfulness to a level, at least a moderate level, we can be able to achieve that through several sessions of experiences. So seeing them in the here sense, here it is the mental events. So you will not be absorbed by the content, and or you will not see them in a judgmental way. And to realize that, say for example, if you have, and you have to realize that I'm having thought that I am a bad person, rather than concluding I am a bad person. So here most of us do this mistake, or we think bad, I am not good enough to be, to do this job, I am not worth for this particular project, whatever it is, like I will not do my presentation well. All these are what your thoughts. Okay, so we think that we conclude that I will not, I do not, I am like this. Okay, so instead of that, you have to think that, or you have to realize that, that is reframe or reorganize your thoughts. I am having a thought that I will not do well, I am having a thought that I will not be worth for this project. So these are the ways you have to reframe or arrange or rephrase your thoughts. So you have to realize that way. And acceptance of the constantly changing experience of the present moment. So you, when you are in one present moment, that moment may be very beautiful, and that moment will be giving you some pleasant things. And maybe you go into the next moment, and that moment will not give you pleasant things. So you will not hate that moment. Every moment is the same, right? It is the present moment. So why do we say the moments as the present? Because the present is in the other way, the other word is the gift, right? So gifted moment is the present moment. We will not think anything about the past and the present. So you have to accept of the constantly changing experience of the present moment. So you have to understand that the moments keep changing, right? Okay, again a small activity here. Okay, the activity is named as mind body connection, and here you have to imagine biting a lemon. Okay, so now you have to again think that you are biting a lemon, and understand the connection between what is happening in our mind and what's happening in our bodies now. So I'm giving you another 1 or 2 minute to just imagine. Okay, I think you are thinking about biting a lemon now. Okay, so when you're thinking about this biting a lemon, how does your body feel? And how your body feels change your thoughts? Can your emotions change how your body feels? Yeah, please answer these questions in your mind, right? Can how your body feels change your emotions? And now again you think, did your body react to thinking about biting into a lemon as if you were actually doing it? You didn't do, right? You were just imagining biting a lemon. So is your body reacting like actually doing it, or just like that it is able to connect that particular visualization? Yes. So can you able to understand what is the mind body connection? Is your mind and the body is connected now with this small exercise? Good. Okay, thank you, Lavanya, Sadia. Okay, so we'll move on to the next part of the session here. Okay, what can mindfulness do for you? So how mindfulness is going to help you? Like we know in the recent times after this pandemic has started, everybody has started high levels of anxiety. What is going to happen? How things are changed? Why this road is so empty? I couldn't go out anywhere. So these are the so many things we have coming across, and also we have where we were used to go out every day, and we were now in the home into the 2 or 3 rooms. Okay, we are actually more anxious and the stress levels are high. Even to a top expert psychologist, a level of depression, like from high intensity to low intensity, it differs, right? And also the sleep patterns have changed totally, right? We were not able to get up early in the morning, and we were not able to sleep in the night by before 12. So all these are the changes we are undergoing because of this pandemic. So here mindfulness can help you battle depression, can battle help you battle anxiety, reduce your stress levels, reduce physical pain, improve your sleep, and increase the dopamine levels in your brain. So there are a lot of researches have done in all these areas, where how does the mindfulness helps to reduce depression. Every research tells that the depression levels have been lowered after a few sessions of mindfulness, and also it has reduced anxiety, stress levels, physical pain, and etc. Okay, how does it improve your mental health, right? Mindfulness is actually the opposite of a ruminative thinking. All of you heard about the word rumination, right? Thinking over and over about something, some thoughts, or some person, or some some things with some failures or anything which can be again and again coming to our mind, that only the particular thought will sit in our head and it will not move at all, right? And that creates a very low mood, and we were very upset. We go sometimes into prolonged depression or so, and the same thought will come again and again, and that is called ruminative thinking, right? So it is actually opposite to mindfulness. Why do we say this? Because we will be concentrating on only one thought, but here uh, the mindfulness, we will be going on to one moment to the other moment, so that it easily we can able to take up the thoughts. We are able to monitor our thoughts, so that we can detach from some emotions. So whenever we have some painful situation, okay, you can experience painful situation and that particular emotion. You also when you also can experience that you are not in the particular emotion itself, right? Because the mindfulness helps you to attach um, labels to thoughts as well, to detach from the emotions. Say for example, I'm feeling very angry with my brother or sometimes, right? You experience that particular emotion, and you are not that particular emotion. So you will not say I am experiencing that anger in me, but I am not angry. Okay, I am not angry. So you could label your thought in a different way, so that you and that particular emotion will come with a gap, will go to a distant. Okay, teaches, and mindfulness also teaches that thoughts are thoughts and not the facts. So when I say that I am a worthless person, when I think that I am a worthless person, it is not a fact, it is just a thought, right? It is also helping you to manage your thoughts and to label your thoughts in the right way. So mindfulness helps you that thoughts are the thoughts and not the facts. And it is also teaching you to just be aware instead of judging. So again, non-judgmental is coming here. So you will be aware of the present moment and not being judging that this is working, this is not working, the slide share is going out, the ma'am is not presenting well. So all these are judgments here. So you just be aware of things are happening in this way. Teaches self-compassion as well as compassion to experience and others. So when you are mindfulness, you become self-compassionate, right? So all of us know what does the word compassionate mean. So when you are being self-compassionate, you will be less worrying, you will be less anxious about the future also, and you will be feeling happy, not even not happy, maybe relaxed, feeling warmth about yourself, enjoying that particular moment. So mindfulness teaches you self-compassion and also help you to be compassionate towards others as well. Okay, again, once again, we have one example here. So you go to the grocery store, and you are going near the shop, but you are not stopping near the grocery store, and you don't remember anything what to buy. Okay, and you drive from home. Again, you take a walk in the park to relax, but you were not relaxing in the park, but you were thinking about your project. So here all these are what it is called as autopilot. So we always have a thought process going on and on, like there will be lakhs and lakhs of thoughts going running in our mind, and these lakhs and lakhs of thoughts, it will make you react sometimes. Okay, so and that's why when we start from home, thinking that I have to go to the grocery store, and you will not stop nearby it, and you go crossing it, and you come back buying something else, and then that is called autopilot mode or automatic pilot mode or something. So that is, you are not focused, you are not paying attention, you are not aware of the moment. So when you are being aware of the moment, it is, you can avoid this autopilot mode, right? So mindfulness isn't focused on finding solutions to problems. So again, there is one highlighting a statement here, which is telling you that it is not an answer. Okay, it is not a solution for all your problems, but it is a focused acceptance. Oh, you got a problem? Yes, I got a problem. Okay, there is no solution. Okay, no solution. So that's how we have to understand mindfulness is just accepting even if you have some problem. So there's an old saying goes like this: what we resist persists. Mindfulness says what you accept transform. So when we accept, I'm having, say for example, I'm having a pain in my hand, and when you accept it, when you keep thinking like why I'm getting this pain, what I'm going to do if the pain persists, so which doctor I have to go, like how long this pain is going to be with me. So if I keep thinking about it, that is the resistance, right? I don't want this pain, and it persists. When again mindfulness says what you accept transforms. So when you say okay, the hand is paining, my hand is paining, okay, you accept, right? And then maybe after a period of time you will observe your pain, and maybe it can be transforming, right? So you accept whatever comes across to you. Maybe it is a suffering, or is a feeling of anxiety, or you have some difficulty, anything it is. Okay. Benefits of mindfulness. So through mindfulness practice, we can maintain attention to internal and external experiences in a non-judgmental state, manifesting acceptance, curiosity, and openness. So again we have to be non-judgmental, again we have to be paying attention, again we have to manifest acceptance. So here the word manifest means accepting a suffering is not very easy, right? So we have to manifest, we have to bring in a change. It will not come in a minute or so. Oh, I got a suffering, I will not really accept it. Like slowly you have to get into it, and that is why it is called as manifesting acceptance, curiosity, and openness. Continuing the benefits of mindfulness, it heightens body awareness, right? So we are totally aware, so we will not easily react to some triggers, for any emotional reactions. We will not be reacting to certain things, because our body is also connected with our mind when we are mindfulness. So there is a heightened body awareness helps to detect physiological aspects of the feelings present, that is body tension, rapid heartbeat, short shallow breath. So this triggers the emotion regulation process to react to the stimulus differently than normal. Okay, just noticing it as opposed to reacting to it. So here we can easily manage our body tension, our rapid heartbeat and all when we are having mindfulness. Again, increased dopamine release. So there are a lot of research studies saying that the dopamine release has been increased because of practicing mindfulness. So because of that we are able to think in the right way, and also gives us energy to go ahead with certain things. So mindfulness helps us to increase dopamine release. And there's a research journal, says Cognitive Brain Research Journal, where you could understand the brain studies related to mindfulness, which has been given in detail. Okay, sorry. And again, it also breaks the harmful thinking patterns which lead to depression. Say for example, if I'm going to first think I am not worth for this project, I did not do this presentation, so I will not be able to complete this project. So that's how I keep thinking like 1, 2, 3 or 4 times, and finally what happens, keep thinking the same thoughts. It will be ruminating, and after this rumination it leads us to depression. And once when you go into a depression, you feel like I'm totally worthless, or I will people will engage into self harm, and then finally people attempt suicide. So all these are things. So this harmful thinking patterns have been crushed in the initial stage when you practice mindfulness. Again, there's a proof for how this mindfulness have increased happiness, right? So many of the I'm getting some chats. Yes. John Gobatson again, he says, he has done so much research on mindfulness in his happiness, and here they have split a group of employees at a biotech company into two groups. And the first group did an 8-week course in mindfulness based stress reduction. It is in short called MBSR, and others did not, right? So there's a company, two groups, they have been divided into two groups, and one group have attended the 8-week course, the other did not. And after that, the electrical brain activity was studied before and after the training. Okay, and here after the 8 weeks, people who have attended this mindfulness training have greater activation in the part of the brain called left prefrontal cortex, which is associated with the emotions, well-being, and acceptance of experience. Left prefrontal and cortex activate people describe themselves as interested, excited, strong, active, alert, and enthusiastic, in comparison to the other group who have been reporting themselves as afraid, nervous, scared, upset, and distressed. Yeah, okay. And here experiment shows 8 weeks of mindfulness training in a busy workplace environment can have positive effect on well-being. And there are so many other studies after this study have come, which is explaining to us that mindfulness have increased happiness to many of the. Again, it is stuck. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to practice mindfulness, right? So when we are going to practice mindfulness, we will not have an aim that like, today, see, I'm going to find it perfectly. I'm going to focus 100% so that I will not be like before. I will become perfect. I will try so hard. It is not like that, right? So maybe those things can help us, but then it will not be like one time or one day challenge you can have for yourself, right? It can be like slowly getting into your thoughts. So once meditation have started, many have stated that they have thoughts like, I can't focus on all, I can't do it, that was a bad meditation, right? So what happens is they will start, and then they will say, no, I can't do this, and it was very bad. So all these things, so these also we have to take it as a challenge before we enter into a state of the present moment. Coping statements can include, so like, my mind is bound to wander. So always people will be wandering, right? Whatever it is, wherever we are, okay, our mind keeps on wandering, so we cannot stop our mind. So you will not enter into a state that enter into mindfulness in a state that, see, I'm gonna take up mindfulness, I will not stop, I will stop all negative thoughts, I will have only positive thoughts. No, you cannot do that, right? So we have to keep that in mind. So we will have coping statements like this: my mind is bound to wander, I will accept these feelings, it is what it is. Be gentle, be kind, just bring your attention back to its original destination. This is how you can help yourself to bring in mindfulness in the leading way. Okay, next, again, one more small tip for you to before we begin. So you cannot decide to focus and then come 100% focus without any issues. Like, of course we will be having some issues every now and then. Like when you go to a gym, what we do, we will first start with some small workouts, and within a period of time you will train your body, right? Similarly here also, we say that meditation is a gym for a mind. Okay, we have to make a huge we have to actually engage our mind to be in the present moment. We have to be attentive, we have to be gentle, and or the mind becomes less attentive. Okay, so here basically in a gym we we train our body, but here when we're doing mindfulness we will be attentive. So here we have to be making conscious attention towards the particular present moment. So that is why mindfulness requires a kindness. Say for example, your mind is wandering about the meeting which we had at the last part of the day. and now we are focusing on mindfulness. So now our mind is automatically thinking about the previous meeting. That is the end of the day, we had a meeting, we're thinking about the meeting. So in a meeting, this happened, that happened, this person spoke like this person was telling this, we gave all the, for all we have to do so and so things. So these are the things which is thing. In that case, you will not be harsh to yourself. See, all these thoughts are coming to me, it was really disturbing me. We have to say, we have to be very kind to us first of all. So if you're too harsh, your mind will rebel. So what we do, okay, let it come. Oh, this thought has come, okay, let it come and let it go. Now again we are going to focus. Oh, now it is one more thought is coming, okay, let it come, okay, let it go. Now one more thought. So like that it comes and goes. So you have to be kind to yourself. So kind, compassionate, open hearted, all those things we saw in the previous slides. Okay, now what are the types of mindfulness are there? So mindful breathing, mindful walking, body scan, mindful eating, mindful yoga. And now we have one more three. So there are types of mindfulness, and there's one more activity here. It is a 3-minute breathing space. Joseph sir, do we have some time? Joseph sir? Okay, let us start quickly. This 3-minute breathing space. So here,
yes ma, you can proceed.
Okay, so we are going to use this 3-minute breathing space in moments of stress, or when you're troubled in thoughts or feelings. So whenever you are so stressed, maybe in your office or your home, your children are pestering you, or anything which is troubling you, you can use this 3-minute breathing space. That is, you can use it to step out of automatic pilot. Like somebody is bothering you, immediately you say, you keep quiet, I'm already in tension. So you will not go to this automatic pilot. Instead, you reconnect with the present moment and your own inner wisdom. Okay, so what you actually do is these three things. Okay, so first what you have to do is sit in a dignified posture, and you have to bring yourself in the present moment. Then you have to ask, what's going on with me at this moment? What thoughts, feelings and body sensations am I experiencing right now? Okay, you could put your inner experience into words. Again, you can put like this. Say in your mind, a feeling of anger is arising. Oh, my son is really giving me a hard time. I'm feeling so anger. These things, okay, these are the experiences, your inner experiences is coming to you. Okay, so these are the things where you acknowledge the particular feeling. Acknowledging the particular feeling is the first thing you do in this 3-minute breathing space. Okay, and this is like, there is one more example. My stomach is clenched and tense. So somehow these are the critical thoughts are here. Whatever you experience, you put it into words and say it in your mind, whatever you are experiencing right now. And the first step is acknowledging the particular feeling, and the second is gathering. Okay, gently bring in your full attention to the breathing. So now what you have to do is bring in your breathe in, breathe out exercise, like how we did in the first activity, right? So focus on your breathing, and then breathe and start breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, again 1 2, you can also have a count, or you can have a bell or something like that, or you can just tap on the table, okay, to say in out. Like one tap is for in breathing out, breathing in, and one tap is for breathing out. So likewise, you can take your gathering, you gather yourself completely in the form of breaths. So now your breath is functioning as an anchor to bring into your present moment and to help you tune into the state of awareness and stillness. I hope you are taking these points in this activity. It's a very, very important and very good activity to ease your trouble in a very short period of time. It's just 3 minutes. Yes, Okay. Next is expanding. So now you finish your acknowledging your feeling, and to the you have done your gathering. That is, you gathered all your breaths together now, and you are focusing on your breathing completely now. You're paying attention to your breathing. Now you expand your awareness around the breathing to the whole body, right? Whenever you breathe, you will not just breathe just like breathe in, breathe out. You experience the breathing for the whole body and the space it takes up, as if your whole body is breathing, like you breathe to any discomfort, tension or resistance you experience, breathing into the sensations. So you breathe in, you when you are anger, you can breathe in, okay, thinking the sensations. Again, when you're breathing out, you can feel that the anger is releasing, allow a sense of softening. After you you are breathing out, you can feel that your body is empty, that is, there's no air, right, within that is a very very short span of time where you could feel that the anger has gone out. Again you inhale, again that's breathe in. Okay, so likewise you can do further many times. You will expand your breathing, allow a sense of softening, opening, letting go, so that you will let your anger go out. Okay, so hold everything in awareness as best as you can. Bring this expanded awareness into the next moments of your day. Likewise, this 3 minutes is going to help you out of the moment for that particular day. Okay, so like your awareness, so it is all based on your awareness, how much you are able to focus and aware, pay attention and bring in that awareness to your inner self, to your experiences. So that is how you can practice this particular 3 minute exercise. Okay, I hope this will be okay. The end of the session we have come to. So here Buddha has given you a good quote. Every day morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters the most. It's given by Buddha. So whatever we are doing today, whatever we are doing in the moment is mattering the most. So that is how we are able to connect our mind and the body, and we can be able to practice mindfulness, right? So thank you so much.